Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. What we're going to be doing today is a live i9 7940X Delid. Yeah, man, we're going to do, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do a 7980 XE as well. So I'm going to focus on the 7940 and go from there. Gonna just clear the desk real quick, make space. Let's see. We're gonna get the X299 test bench out of the way, and you'll soon see exactly why I put the quick disconnects in place. Let's move the monitor. This is kind of, I do my bench overclocking. Sometimes I bin over CPUs. I don't like to bin them because technically, like, there's so many variables, and I want to make sure I'm not like falsely advertising or anything. So, but I do binning sometimes, and we'll set up the camera so you guys could see. Let's see, is this gonna come out? I'm blocking. All right, so we got quick disconnect fittings right here from EK. Basically, like you know, you don't make a mess at all. There's a hair, like there might be like a drop of water, like barely. I don't know if that's even showing up. There's so little water on it. So now I could just move the bench out of the way. In theory, just disconnect the pump. And the fans, there we go. That was a 7920X on there. I was checking that thing out. 4.5 gigahertz on 12 cores with 1.20 volts. And it stayed, if my memory's not failing me, I think it was under 70 degrees Celsius with this loop on here. This I'm going to put back here for now. So I just moved to Vegas like in January. We got our home a couple of months ago. So this office is always kind of evolving until I find the sweet spot. Now we could put this webcam right in front of me. So let's see. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, that should work. It's a little yellow. Let's do something about that. White balance. That should do it. That's better. I'd rather it be a little blue than warm. I hate warm. Alright, so I only have 2 i9s. Well, I have 3 i9s, but only 2 loose ones. So I just label the Delid tool. So there's one 7940X, there's one 7980. So I just label them, that way I could keep track. If I happen to have a lot more, then I get more specific, but right now I don't need more details than that. I got my overnighted IHSs from Rockitcool. So there was a slight design flaw with the original one where it worked fine on the 7900X, but on the 7920s and up, it wasn't making proper contact. So James, the owner, is super cool. He basically like read my mind on it, and he came up with the proper fix. Let's see what this gorgeous thing looks like. I was looking for a 27-inch. Oh, yeah, I'm lucky, man, where... So in California, I had Newegg, I had Micro Center, I had everything, man. But out here in Nevada, a little more limited, but I still have Fry's, and I have Outlet PC. Outlet PC is really close. But I would probably still be limited on trying to find one. But you know, the Fry's out here actually has a lot of good monitors. So there she is, a thing of beauty. I just love it. All things machined are cool. See, I wipe this off. It looks like there's like maybe something from the machining process, but I used to go to the trade shows for all the tooling, and you know, these like you know, Bridgeport I think went out of business years ago, but you know, for example, let's say Bridgeport is there, or I don't know the other brands. I'm not going to pretend I'm into manufacturing, but they'll just hand out like things that were machined off of their machines, and it's just a fun way to get really cool looking aluminum stuff. Let's get the Delid stuff out here. And for those of you that may not know, I like using Liquid Pro from Cool Laboratories. It works really well. The packaging is easy to use, so that's why I like sticking with them. On i9s, I always use a fresh iFixit tool. You might be able to see on one of the camera angles that I have a stack of them, like those right there. They probably were only used like once or twice, and I just replace them. I'm gonna have to get a new package soon. I think I only have one more new unopened package. Okay. Think. This is like totally, as always, most streams I'm like kind of like last minute decide to do it. I want to stream as much as possible just to kind of meet other guys into the hobby, and yeah, so not all my streams are going to be perfect. Like the water cooling loop yesterday was kind of like a funky stream. I didn't feel like I was perfectly in my groove, but I'm like, screw it, I'm still going to stream, I'm going to have fun, and I'm so glad I got that done last night, the 360mm loop. Let's see. Yeah, third. That's cool. I don't know if you were able to see my setup. I have one horizontal and then two in portrait and vertical to the side. The middle one's 4K, and then the other two are like a, I don't know, like a 16. I don't know, they're like under 1080. They're not 720 though. So this processor is over here. I usually recommend, if you guys are gonna ship me a processor, at least include it in the, like this, you know. Let's see, do I need to work over here? No, I need to work closer. Let's get the camera a little closer. I'm gonna see if this is nice and clean, and make sure it's not dirty or damaged. So it looks like we have some fingerprints on the back or something. See that? And then, you know, so this was probably in a system before it came to me. The IHS I don't really need to clean until it's been delidded. So before I return this, I'll wipe this off with like alcohol and try to make it as close to new looking as possible. I've gotten some funky ones where like corners might be a little like rounded, like if someone might have dropped one. So what I do with those especially, I take pictures before the delid and everything. So we're gonna make sure, we're gonna unscrew this end over here and make sure this guy is all the way back. One all the way back there. double check our markings, that triangle. I don't take anything for granted. The second you do, you make an expensive mistake. Oh, that's a bummer, man. That's the hardest part about renting. We've rented for a long time. We moved to Vegas just because it's the only place we could afford to own. California was nuts. And I think in Jersey, you guys probably have similar housing. Except I think there's parts of Jersey that are affordable. So now that it's in there, I tighten these countersunk screws. So I just tighten it in by hand, and now that aluminum piece you saw is now resting on the IHS. IHS is this thing. Intel 1 is like copper that's coated with nickel, I believe it is. And what else? There's really not much else to say other than those markings, that blue ink. That's the bottom out point, so I know when I've screwed it in completely in case the IHS has not popped off. But usually I back it off once before I even get it to that point. So that is weird. Let's double check this because it just screwed in all the way. I didn't feel anything. I'm wondering if this was pre-delidded by someone else. Oh, somebody didn't tell me the whole story. Someone else did a delid on this, and they used... That is so weird. This isn't a 7940X. This looks like a 7900X. I'm glad I did this delid live because this is real sketchy and I don't even think the owner knows about it. So guys, I'm gonna stop here and I'm not gonna even touch this one. The 7940, this actually, that's weird. Yeah, the 7940, the IHS should go all the way around. Like, I have a 7980 XE, the one that I told you guys had the contact issue. It should look like this, because basically they're the same die and it's cut down. So I hope this person didn't get ripped off. You know, you guys could see my signature on there. This one I did live. It got to the client and temperatures were not correct. We had two cores that were really hot, and turns out that was a clearance issue, and thankfully, because I insulated the SMDs, the CPU was fine. It just had a hot temperature. So that said, this is like a 7900X, or maybe even less. It could be like a 7820 or 7800X or whatever it is. Man, that sucks. The IHS clearly says 7940. So let's put this away. I gotta contact that person. Actually, I'm gonna do it while I'm live. I'm not gonna call him live, but I'm gonna shoot him an email and let him know. Hold on, guys. Maestro, let me catch up with the stream. I'll catch up with your text real quick. Make sure my monitor, you can't read anything. Alright, cool. Don't want any private information. Sorry guys, just want to make sure I notify him ASAP. What store did you go to, Maestro? Dang, man. I feel bad for this guy because, I mean, I don't expect, I mean, unless he, you know, there's always people that'll try to, like, let's say he'd claim that I did this, but someone that would try to do that probably wouldn't overnight me a CPU and provide the overnight label back. So I have a feeling this person probably got a good deal on a CPU online, and I hope he could get his money back. Or maybe it was an honest mistake and the owner of the CPU, maybe he just accidentally mixed up the IHSs. Let's give someone the benefit of the doubt. But man, that is messed up. So the thing with the i9s, so with the i7s, like 1151 socket, you can see the serial number on the substrate, but on the i9s, everything is literally like, you can't do it without whatever tools Intel has. For example, like there's just these like weird barcodes. I'm blanking out on what they're called. I use them for my builds. There's just weird barcodes, and then this is supposed to be, I think, like some sort of chip for ID. But there's nothing that I could use to identify it. So that said, we're going to clean this off, coat the SMDs one more time, just to make sure, and then delid. Hold on a sec, guys. Okay, sorry. Had a notification. I want to make sure it wasn't the client trying to get a hold of me. Yeah, no, that's why I'm not even touching it. And anything like, when something like that happens, you got to stop what you're doing and get a hold of the owner. Because if I go on and clean it and everything, what if I remove fingerprints of somebody else that may have done this? By the way, these will transfer fingerprints. Latex gloves are, you know, these aren't latex, but whatever, you know, latex gloves will transfer fingerprints. So, but if someone else's fingerprints are on there, I want them still there. So you could see also here, guys, how actually you can't see because, let's see, I'm gonna try to just get this into the focal range. That's probably the best this thing will do for focus. Let's see. Let's try to manually focus on. I turn off autofocus because it usually sucks. There we go. So you could see here, guys, that this is really flat and this side is not. And it sucks to say this, but the original copper was resting on these components right here. But because we insulated them, the CPU was working fine. The guy just noticed temps were high. And when you look at them, I shot them with my macro and I zoomed in. Everything seems fine. So thank goodness. But I'm not James. All I will say that on Rockitcool's behalf, I couldn't ask for more. He has my back. He was really prepared to take care of the situation, and that's all I'll say because I didn't get permission to mention that on air. But customer service was A1 from Rockitcool for sure. And on my end, I didn't know this was the case originally. We kind of discussed this and we needed to see it in person to confirm it. but I sent them a loaner 7900X. You know, like, because I didn't want his system to be down, like, while we were redoing the Delid. And now, especially, like, I'm glad he has that. So that's what I did. And then Rockitcool got the updated ones made and tested, like, super fast. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, Best Buy's starting to carry better monitors, but it's still super limited. You don't have like a Fry's or a Micro Center? I know there's a Micro Center somewhere in the New York, New Jersey area. I just don't know if it's close to you, Maestro. Yeah, thank goodness, man. I almost didn't do this Delid live, but the client can now use this as proof too. Like, hey man, my CPU is done over there live, and I could email on and verify, like, yeah, that his CPU I did. Yeah, some of the cool monitors have ginormous bases. I know that's not a real word. Okay, humongous bases, and I like more smaller compact bases, so I tend to go with Asus, although some of their bases aren't always the smallest either. Yeah, so we're just gonna redo it, and then before I send it back, I'm gonna put it on my test bench, make sure everything's good. I'm gonna test his original overclock and just make sure we have normal spread on temperatures. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna mute the stream because the person wants to call me. So we're gonna mute this and I'm gonna take the call. I'm sorry about that delay, guys. For folks, and hello, Harry. I'll refrain from saying your names. Your name. Well, I guess safety trousers. There's nothing wrong with that. if anyone was on the stream and wondering what I was doing, the client that owned that i9 got a hold of me. Basically what happened was he purchased the CPU under the impression it was a 7940X. It had the IHS that it was a 7940X, but it was not. And he happened to be watching the stream, and that's why I was kind of like showing the CPU while I was muted, because I was having a private conversation with him and kind of showing him so he can contact the people he needs to contact. So yeah, he did mention he was told it was brand new, unused, and that he just paid $100 under MSRP. I'm not going to say where he bought it from, but it was third party on a known site. So I think you'll be okay in the end. Just when something like that happens, I gotta handle it, because you know these are expensive processors. These aren't like $100, $200, $300 CPUs. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get back to this 18 core. This is the 7980XE. We're redoing the Delid because of an issue with the original IHS. The client, I shipped out a loaner 7900X to him, so that way he wouldn't be without a system while he shipped it back to me and all that stuff. I just wanted to make sure that I took care of him as best as I could. We're just cleaning off the old silicone. Stuff comes off pretty easily with a paper towel. So this Liquid Pro is still fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You could see it here. There's a lot here, so I'm going to add a little more. Here's the replacement IHS. This is a freshly machined one that was overnighted from Rockitcool. We're gonna put this in the tool and make sure the triangles line up. This is the Rockitcool tool. I don't want to misquote the model, but if you go on their webpage, it'll be the one that says it's for like socket 2066. I want to say it's the Rocket 88. Just gonna add a little more Liquid Pro to that. And then what I need to do, I need to clean this surface off. Actually, let's, in the meantime, before I start cleaning that off, I'm just gonna recode all the SMDs, especially these. That is what saved this processor, that I had this coded. If I did not, it probably would have shorted out and either crashed the system, or if not just crash it, it could have maybe even taken out the CPU. So thank you, nail polish. These look good because you know, this side wasn't contacting, but just do a fresh coat. I'm still taken back by that 7940, alleged 7940. It kind of sucks that people will do that. I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully it was an honest mistake. He shipped the wrong one out, like, but Man. So I don't know how you guys like the music. I changed it up from Foxtails. We're now playing Approaching Nirvana. I think Linus and some of the YouTubers play music from them. But I'm digging it. It's a fresh change. The tricky part is getting like music that's not copyright protected. So all they ask is that I link on their webpage. They just say, hey, just link a place for people to buy our music and give us credit, and you could use it. There's literally a Twitch streamer tab on the webpage, and I think there's a separate one for YouTube. So I copy and pasted the example they have. I mean, playing music that artists don't want on Twitch is also a form of stealing. Although, if I were an artist, I would totally be down because it's kind of like publicity. So I'm happy Approaching Nirvana and Foxtails and all that. They have policies that allow streamers to use their music. Saw a piece of land right there. Cool. So we're gonna use these brushes. All right. So what happened is, Maestro, is that the person that purchased that is gonna call where he purchased it from and see what's going on. Hold on. I'm gonna blow off this brush real quick. So he's gonna tell them, hey, what's up? I want my money back. So he could buy a real i9. Actually, I'll move this off to the side. And then I'm just gonna do circular motion to spread it out. Just kind of move it around. This spreads so much easier on these freshly machined copper IHS than like the Intel ones. Alright, so what I'm going to do at this point, actually now's a good time to spread that, but hold on, I need to get the original IHS to make sure I line everything up properly. So we want to make sure top is top. Cool. So I'm just going to compare these two to make sure the widths and everything are about right. It's okay to overshoot. You don't want to overshoot too much, but you want to definitely make sure that they match. Yeah, so basically, I'm not going to charge him extra or anything, so whatever, you know, he paid me, it's money in the bank. He could, when he gets his correct processor, we'll do the Delid. And it sucks that he has to go through the trouble and the stress. Okay, so looks like we're good on height. And we're good on width. I'm just gonna spread it a little more, that extra that you guys saw me put on. I'm just gonna kind of Spread it out so things are nice and even. So now that both surfaces have been coated, I'm not gonna get the silicone on there. I have Permatex, the right stuff, on this inside this syringe, which will make my life easier when it comes to resealing the IHS. I did tell him too that if I need to make a statement to Amazon or the authorities, I'm more than willing to do that. And as a business owner, you know, it's like, it's a lot more, I think, well, I don't think it matters to the police, but I feel, you know, I'm a business owner, so I'm not just like his friend or something. It's like, man, if you're gonna do that, it shows how dumb it is to try to steal from people. Like, they didn't even use like the right silicone. They didn't even bother using liquid metal. They used some sort of cheap thermal paste. It definitely wasn't Intel's. They were at least nice enough to put something on. That's why I hope it was just a misunderstanding. I wanna hope for the best in people, but truth of the matter is there's crooks out there. So I'm just gonna make sure this goes on correctly. I always like double and triple check. And then I always push down by hand even though it's not really necessary. Yeah, there we go. That spread is gonna be correct now. Let's get my dollar coin. I'm waiting for someone to come up with like a cool nickname because I use like coins or something. I'll be like the coin man. Oh shoot, where did I leave that thing? Here we go. So I'm gonna make sure this is screwed out all the way. Maybe tonight I'll stream the overclocking on this. I'm not sure yet. But oh, regarding that small chassis build, let's see. Wait, your automod is holding back most of my messages. I'm not sure why. That is weird. Let's see. Dude, I don't know what is wrong with automod. Well, I saw one that was held back. I didn't see. Yeah, I saw one of them that was held back. I set it to a lower setting too. But let's see. Regarding those small chassis builds I've been doing in the Sliger Cerberus X, I'm hoping the parts I need for that dual PSU build will be in tomorrow. Let me check this out real fast. Just want to make sure because I'm paranoid because of the last situation. Just make sure things are looking cool. Hold on guys, I'm going to take the headset off. Alright, yep, things are cool. So now I just need to let this thing dry. And we'll go from there. That kind of is a wrap for the stream. Let's see. Yeah, the last one was for an architect. I think that one got shipped to San Francisco. A lot of the builds in here, like if you see one of those small chassis builds, it's probably like an architect construction build. Because when it's like a Remus computer solution system, I usually use like Fractal Design if it's a workstation. And then if it's a gaming build, you know, no matter what, I always let the clients kind of like steer the direction of the chassis. But so I've even used those Sliger cases as well. But those tend to be the bin box builds. They're Striker S or they're Raptor builds, and yeah. All right, guys, that sums it up. We at least hopefully helped somebody find that the CPU they purchased was a counterfeit, and we redid a Delid. Man, so the guy mentioned he's still buying parts for his system too. So what if he waited to build it all and he didn't send it to me? He might have been outside of the return period and they might have told him like, too bad. But hopefully we were able to help him out. Anyways, guys, sorry for the weird stream. That tends to be how my streams go. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.